What's up, Monster Jam fans? It's time for the BKT track walk. We're going to talk a little bit about this starting pad right off the bat, and the fact of it is, Monster Jam wants us to have a very consistent starting line throughout the night. However, the trick is going to be getting the truck to hook up because we've got so much horsepower in these Monster Jam trucks, 1,500 horsepower, and we want to make sure that we get as much traction off of those BKT tires as we can. So we're going to launch off of here. Some drivers have kind of started pointing the truck a little bit outward because we're going right into this first turn, okay? So as we're approaching this turn, the interesting thing is, so we got a race lane right off the bat. As soon as you get this truck to kind of kick into the side, you're wanting to get that rear steer going pretty quickly coming off of that starting line, and then you just kind of want to drift the truck right into the corner. But here's why. Come here. So if you want to hit this straight, that's good because you can keep the truck as controlled as possible. But the problem is you're really starting to think past this jump. It's just a little baby jump, but it's meant to upset the truck. But you got to think past it because your whole goal is to set the truck up into that turn because we're going to that big, giant, over, double jump. I don't even know what we're calling it. We're calling it an over-under. It's a double jump, but it's gnarly. That's what we're going to call it, Mr. Gnarly, okay? So we come off of this little baby race lane. It's already upset because you probably, just had the rear steer just coming back to center, and maybe it didn't all get all back into center, but a lot of trucks are kind of getting upset when we were doing practice yesterday. But it's all about trying to get this truck controlled enough to be able to get around this turn pod and set up for this monster of a double. Look at this thing, man. Look how big this thing is, okay? Now, here's what you got to understand. As drivers, we come around this corner, we can't see the landing, right? It's wide enough. We've got a landing for something else on the left side, and you cannot see where you're going. So us as drivers, we already have to find the point that we're going to leave on this jump right here. For me, my goal is to stay tight on this turn pod, stay on the right side, because, again, we're not just setting up this jump, we're thinking about the one after. But come on up here. Come on. Check this thing out. Oh, man, this is my cardio for the day. Woo! Oh, all right. Look at this. It's like a Stairmaster on steroids. Okay, we're up on top. Now, the trick of this track, in my opinion, the speed, the fast numbers, it has to do with coming off of this double going into that turn. I think that is going to be the difference between last place in qualifying and first place, and then ultimately who can be the fastest on race day, which is most important. But it is let me tell you, as soon as I came off of this in practice, you're wanting to kind of get the truck to kind of buck in the back so that you can actually see where you're coming down into. But you have to realize, too, if this doesn't come off the way you want it, you're heading into the side of that blue lane over there, and that can cause a lot of truck damage. But this, to me, is the win versus loss. This is being fast versus slow. It's all about getting over this double, setting into that final turn. All right? Let's come down. Come on, let's go show you some more. Because here's the thing. We've got 1,500 horsepower in these trucks, right? We want to get these BKT tires hooked up and trying to take advantage of those 1,500 horsepower as much as we can. Now, the dirt here in Orlando, it's pretty sandy, as you might guess. The dirt crew's got it really hard packed. So if there's any moisture out here, thankfully, our best bet, these are monster trucks, right? These are Monster Jam trucks, right? So our best bet is getting those BKT tires to get as much traction as they can. So remember, we came off of the double jump. We're going into that blue lane on that turn over in the corner. We're going to set it up, a little baby race lane here. We're going to try to get around this turn pod as quickly but as smoothly as we can. And then I'm going to call this Horsepower Alley. For lack of a better term, baby, this is Horsepower Alley, okay? Because as soon as you're straight here, you're going to get that throttle pegged. Hopefully you don't run out of gear. Hopefully a driver's made the right gearing choice. And those BKTs are going to kind of pull this around that guardrail right there and shoot us out of there. Now, imagine this, though. You're on ground floor with me, okay? Imagine going under and you've got Son of a Digger powered by Hoonigan jumping over your head. Is this real life? It seems like a video game, but we're doing it in real life. So we're just having a blast with this thing, okay? So here we go. Let's go down Horsepower Alley. And I'm kind of affectionately calling it that, okay? So it's not really the real thing. We're going to save Thunder Alley for out in Vegas because this is Horsepower Alley. All right? You've got to be fast here. You have got to be aggressive here too. And as soon as you get the traction you need coming out of that corner, because you got to realize too, that corner, that's over a 90-degree turn. I mean, that's like 120 degrees for that truck. And so as soon as you're trying to get that truck to get whipped around like that, as soon as those BKT tires hook up, you want to motor right through there, setting up, because we started in the red lane. So our finish line is going to be around this final turn pot here. So you want to come out of here fast, but you got to realize you got to stay controlled to be able to make that final turn, get across that finish line, and take home that victory. So it's going to be crazy. We love the fact that we got BKT tires powering our Monster Jam trucks, and those are the reasons why we get to come out here, play in this Florida dirt a little bit, and put on an amazing event and an amazing competition for all you Monster Jam fans. So come out here and join us, but thanks for doing our BKT track walk.